Okay, I figured this was a good way to talk about the service records and go over a couple extra things because the photo gallery fills up pretty quickly. And so instead of cluttering it up with that, I will explain these here. So I've purchased a couple brochures that will go with the sale of the car. These are from the 2002 launch of the car. This one, the pages are turned like they've been flattened before, so this one I can actually showcase the pages. The other one is relatively newer. This just goes through the interior pictures of some of the redesign. This one's more basic, and this one has doesn't have the options list. It's more of the intro to the car. And then this one is a little different. This one is a little more in depth, and like I said, it's newer, so I'm not going to fold the pages, but it talks about the new monocoque design. It talks about the EAS, which is the electronic air suspension, talks about the new BMW power plant, just all the changes. They spent so much money redesigning this from Land Rover's ownership, which you can kind of go through, which I found to be really neat. The M62 TU with the new ZF transmission attached to it, the independent suspension, all of that stuff. So very cool. Talks about the permanent four-wheel drive and just some of the specs. And then it goes into just options, the classic side grills here. And then it talks about, or shows you the options. So the one that I'm selling here was the Java Black Pearl, and which is now blue. And I'm not sure which one was the interior trim, because that has obviously been redone as well. Okay, now we'll get into the service records. This talks about strut grills as a whole. Talks about kind of, it's jewelry for your car, essentially. That's what this was about. So it was really expensive, but it was ultra high quality. It was a triple chrome plated heavy gauge stainless steel grill, so they weren't cheap by any means. This is Magellite, and this is the brand of the suede that was used. The Nova suede is what they call it. So I've just printed that out so you can kind of see the tips and tricks of how to care for it, which is basically just, gently caring for it with water and rag and all that. Anyway, so all these service records. So we're going to start with the oldest and go to the newest. So I bought a Bosch battery, hood struts, just oil change, things like that. Adhesive, this is adhesive for the headliner. I did order a new foam surround for the JL 10-inch audio and installed the new foam surround. The voice coil looks okay. I can't confirm whether or not it actually functions, but obviously at the time it did, and I don't see any issues with the voice coil. This is the window regulator I purchased for the left rear window and fixed that. Here's the ATF. This is the initial flush I did. So I did an oil change. I did the automatic transmission fluid change as well to try and see if that did anything, and obviously did not. Just some LEDs. This is, let's see, so turn signals, mirror glass, and it just goes on like this. So the cooler seals for the automatic transmission, the Sylvania Silver Stars I used in the corner lights, another corner light. I purchased 3 total to try and get the lenses because they are very brittle, and I broke one of them, and then the other 2 worked. Just going through all this stuff here. This is, I believe this was for, here it is, the Transgo shift kit. This is the speed sensor, valve body harness. Now, all this is going to be transmission stuff here. This is the transfer case service kit, and then some more transmission stuff here. So sorry, it wasn't. It was it's the piston. That's what that was. It's the it goes in the valve body, and the seals, the clutch stuff, filter. ZF highly recommends using their own filter, so I did. All this stuff here, harness, all of that's new. This is the crankshaft seal, rear main seal. More shaft seals. I accidentally ordered 2 extras. And there were some clutches and steels. I'm sorry. Actually, this must have been for the transmission, not the oh no, it was the cooler seal. Sorry. This is the brass bushing kit, and just more O-rings. And then here's, so Ericsson, they've been more than helpful. These guys were great. Talking with Nat over there, really nice guy. Had the torque converter rebuilt. This one was for 2 new catalytic converters. Here was for the valve cover gaskets, you know, just some coolant, heater hose, cooling hose, stuff like that, etc. Just some more stuff off eBay. This is the Muffler King receipt for welding the mufflers back and the catalytic converters, a new gas cap, serpentine belts, and let's see what else we got here. Oh, here is the Arnott air suspension front left, the bag. This one is a line out converter that was previously in there, but it just looked a little crusty, so I replaced it. This is the air compressor assembly that I bought to replace the old crusty one, and it pumps a lot better. There's a replacement key, which now I only have the one. That was the key fob sticker. This is a bunch of breather hoses, valve cover gaskets, oil separator hose, and some other stuff. More gaskets, oil. These are just some assorted bolts that I needed for the oil pan and things, because they kind of got mixed up, and I wanted new ones that weren't that were a little less crusty. Now this one is the big one. This is the timing chain kit. This is all the timing chain stuff. So that was a big one. And roof rail clips, valve cover nuts, and more transmission fluid. Purge valve was replaced. That was stuck open, so I replaced that. This is for mounting and balancing the tires. They did note that one of them was one wheel was bent. I don't feel it. Current right front wheel is bent. I don't feel that. The rear upper control arm outer joints show play, joint in the knuckle. Now, I also didn't feel that, but at least you know about it, you know, if you want to refresh the suspension. But other than that, actually, it feels very, it feels tight on the road, so I don't feel that. Wiper blades. That's my regular shop, and I just said that's fine. Thanks for looking at that. These are now these are Osram taillight bulbs. Those are very specific, because I thought they were Sylvania Silver Stars, and they're not. Headliner material, more headliner material, some more adhesive, the T10 bulbs, the LEDs. Here's the injectors. I took them out, had them cleaned. So here's all the flow rate, the ohms, and the and all the information you want. There's the flow rate. And so yeah, none of them were leaking, and they're all in good shape now. So that was just done. So new seals, oh, and new pintle caps. So all just refreshed. And here's the port injector cleaning. There's what it cost. And lastly here, fuel pump assembly. So that's everything in there.